Hello and welcome to Lansing Pulse. I'm Ken Miller, joined as always by City Administrator Tim Vandall. Tim, what's become, I think, standard operating procedure is we kind of show that we're 6 feet apart here, and for the reasons of audio clarity, we're going to go ahead and remove our masks now. Hopefully in a month or two we won't have to do this at all, and that's kind of my first question here on the whole. And we're recording this on February 23rd. But on the whole, I think locally and nationally, progress is being made in combating the COVID-19 pandemic. I think the numbers in general are coming down in terms of infection rate and even better, death rate. We do in Lansing have a mask mandate through the end of March 31st. So I guess give me a synopsis on how you feel the city can open back up in the near future if the numbers keep getting good.
Yeah. Well, we're keeping a really close eye on those vaccination numbers, and last I had seen, Leavenworth County had vaccinated, I want to say like 5,200 people. That was as of yesterday, Monday. So we're keeping a close eye on that. We're also keeping a close eye on new infections, and we want to be sure that we don't rescind something or begin to go back full blast like we were before the pandemic and then have a major outbreak. So everything that we're doing right now is trying to keep the citizens' safety in mind. That's the foundation of all that we're doing right now. So there's a lot of monitoring going on. We're in communication with the school district about how things are going, and I think we feel pretty good that maybe once March 31st rolls around, things will slowly start getting back to normal. And again, here we are mid-February. And we're at over 5,000 people vaccinated in Leavenworth County. So we're making progress. The Leavenworth County Health Department is doing a good job. And I think our citizens are doing a very good job too, working hard to wear masks whenever possible. So we feel good. We feel like we're on the right track, and the finish line is in our vision right now.
Sure. A COVID-related question. The city Parks and Recreation Department has decided to move forward with youth sports. In fact, we just ended soccer registration. I think that was a couple of days ago. But there is going to be a spring soccer season. So to the extent possible, provide an update on the city's maybe traditional public events. I'm including youth sports, but also some of our other events as well.
Well, so first off, you brought up soccer, and you're right, soccer registration ended a couple days ago. And our numbers for youth soccer are better than they were in the fall season. We're not quite up yet to where we were pre-pandemic, but the numbers are improving. So I think people are starting to slowly feel better about signing up their kids for outdoor activities. So we feel good about soccer. Even beyond that too, we feel very optimistic about baseball, t-ball, and softball this summer. Like we talked about a moment ago, we're in February right now. By the time baseball, t-ball, and softball start, we'll be in that May, June timeframe. So more people will be vaccinated, and things will start getting a little bit better.
And it's an outdoor sport.
And it's an outdoor sport, exactly. One thing that the council had done a couple of meetings ago, we did end up canceling the barbecue competition. Now, a couple of things there. The barbecue competition wasn't open to the public anyway. We had separated it a couple of years ago from the regular Lansing Days event, so we did cancel the barbecue contest. However, we do still have the fireworks contest scheduled. The city council gave staff direction on moving forward with getting bids for fireworks. We're going to shoot those fireworks off on July 3rd. However, we're still talking about what type of side events we're going to do, the location of where it's going to be. So we're still working through the details on what that will look like. But right now it's looking like we are shooting off our fireworks July 3rd. The last thing that I want to mention too, we'd had a couple of people ask about our fishing derby, and we are still hoping to have our fishing derby in, I want to say, late April or early May is when we're looking at it, and it'll probably look similar to last year. We'll probably limit the number of registrants, and we'll probably try to box off certain areas for family members and things like that. So most of our events that we've done in the past, we're trying to do this spring and this summer. They will look different than they had in the past, but we are trying to do them. And like we talked about a moment ago, we're getting close to that finish line. We feel really good about where we're at.
All right. We addressed this, I think, last month when we visited. We did talk about the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. At lansingks.org, you can see that master plan. Right on the homepage there's a link that'll take you to it. Is there any kind of an update that you can provide in terms of the Parks and Recreation Master Plan? And I'm thinking of funding, because it was kind of tiered. You know, if you had this much money, you could do this. If you didn't have this much money, you scale it back. What's the latest as far as how far we can go with that plan?
Well, we're anticipating right now the budget to be maybe around $5 million. And if we get the ball rolling in 2022, we'll have a little bit of debt dropping off, and then we probably encumber a $5 million bond to be paid off over 20 years. Now, what that would pay for, we're looking at doing some new ball fields out at Bernard Park, the wagon wheel style ball fields out there. So we wouldn't be using the fields at City Field anymore, or City Park anymore. We're looking at making some improvements to the soccer fields out at Bernard Park so they're in better shape. We're looking at doing concession stands and bathrooms out at Bernard Park. So we're looking at some pretty substantial improvements out there. Now, the thing that I've mentioned about all of those things, what they require is water. And we don't have water out there. Water is still across the street. So that's going to be one of the significant expenses, is getting water and other utilities into the park, because right now there's just no utilities in the park. So that's going to be some of the things that we're going to be doing out at Bernard Park. We're also looking at doing some splash pads as part of phase 1 of the master plan. We're looking at doing a splash pad in continental Lansing, I like to call it. Maybe we're talking about City Park east of the highway there, where the ball fields currently are. And if there's funds available, we might also discuss doing a splash pad out at Bernard Park also. I know, dating back 10, 15 years, it was always the City Council's vision to have Bernard Park kind of be a one-stop shop for a lot of things: soccer, baseball, community events, splash pad. So those are some of the ideas that the council's going to be discussing when we get those engineering designs done. And like I said, we're envisioning it being maybe around $5 million, but that'll do a lot of different things. And we're really excited about it. I think it's going to be a major improvement for our community.
All right, and again, along the update path that we're taking here, CARES Act money. We talk about this, I think, for the last 3 or 4 months, and an update on some of the projects did receive money through the CARES Act, through the state, through the county. Talk a little bit about where we're at with some of the more high-profile projects.
You know, it's interesting. A lot of the projects that we did, we were able to sign up for them, but because of the contractors or equipment or whatever, we weren't able to get them done quite as fast as we were wanting to. So I know, like, we had signed up for improved water fountains at all of our facilities, contactless water fountains. Those should be installed in a couple of weeks. The digital sign outside of City Hall that will be visible along K7, we're hoping that's going to be installed in the next couple of weeks. One of the other things that I was really excited about was we made some significant improvements to our council chambers. That was completed a week or 2 ago. And that's going to really improve the quality of our video for our city council meetings. So it should make it easier for citizens at home to watch our council meetings and understand things better and kind of get a view of what's going on. So those are a few of the things that we were able to use CARES funds for. The biggest ticket item that we did that we were reimbursed for on CARES funds was reimbursement for police department wages. Our public safety officers were out there every day talking to citizens, encouraging citizens to be safe, and responding to citizens too at times when you didn't know if someone was asymptomatic or not. So I mean, it was certainly a stressful time for our police department, and we're thankful to all of those guys. But that was by far and away one of the things that the largest thing that we got reimbursed for through the CARES Act funds.
Okay. From a development perspective, and we always have a development question within this interview, despite COVID-related economic downturn that you hear about just about every place else and on state and even the federal level, things here still are moving locally. Talk a little bit about some of the things, to the extent that you can. We know we can't talk about certain things that are still in the progressive state, but talk about an update there in terms of development.
So one of the big things, the city purchased Town Center back in October. That was 41 acres, and that opens up a lot of opportunities for the city of Lansing. The property had been vacant for the last 10 or 15 years, and really not much movement on the property. So when the opportunity arose, the city council jumped on it. And we feel like that just opens up a lot of doors in terms of we're eliminating the middleman. Before, you would have the private owner of the property, the person who would want to buy the property, and the city was kind of in the middle trying to incentivize it but not overstep our bounds. And now we're the owners of the property. And I know we've had some city council members say if it's something that's significant enough that generates enough sales tax, we'd probably give somebody a pretty good deal on the property. One of the lots is, I want to say, 14 or 15 acres. So that's certainly the lot that we envision for a large scale type of retail type. An anchor type store, exactly. But even beyond that, though, we've had interest in 2 of the smaller lots out at Town Center. So we're very happy about that. That just in the few months we've owned it, we've had 2 different entities contact us about properties out there. Even beyond Town Center, though, there's a lot of really good things going on. You've got Mutual Savings finishing up their bank right on K7, right next to Petro Deli. You've got Club Car Wash finishing up their car wash. We think that's going to be open in April. Club Car Wash.
That's moved up, isn't it, a little bit?
I think so, yeah, April or May. But anyway, I want to say we're really excited about them opening up this spring. But they're making terrific progress. We're hoping Harbor Freight can break ground maybe in March or April. So there's a lot of really good things happening in Lansing. I wish housing would speed up a little bit more. There's certainly a housing shortage in Lansing, but from a commercial development standpoint, we're doing very well, and we're very excited about it. And there's just so many things happening right now, and there's things happening behind the scenes that we can't even discuss too. So there's a lot of really positive things happening, and I think when Lansing citizens drive down K7 today, and when you drive down K7 in 3 or 4 years, it's going to look vastly different.
All right, we're going to end on a transportation note here. The City Council last week received a briefing from a Leavenworth County Commissioner and Leavenworth County staff about the potential for what they're calling the Eastern Gateway Bridge or Eastern Gateway Project. And that basically would connect Lansing on our east side at Eisenhower or thereabouts to the Missouri side near Highway 152. If you've ever gone to Liberty, you know about Highway 152. Let's start with the fact that there is a video out there. It's a drone video. We just posted it today on our social media. It is part of the Lansing City Council video that you could see from last week's meeting. Talk a little bit about that project. Commissioner Culbertson is obviously spearheading that to the extent possible. But as you watch that video and as you learned about that project, talk about what that would mean, not only maybe to Lansing, but to you as a resident of Lansing.
I tell you what, when I think about starting in Lansing and being at Zona Rosa in under 10 minutes, I get excited. When I think about starting at Quick Trip and being at KCI in under 10 minutes, I'm just thrilled. And you think about what that would do to growth and development in Lansing and the surrounding area, it would be huge for Lansing. So we're very excited about it. Obviously, like you had said, there's still a lot of things to be figured out in terms of the exact route. But also there's currently a study going on right now looking at tolling and what that would do and what level you can toll at where people will still travel it, what the traffic counts on this bridge are going to be. So there's still a lot of irons in the fire to be figured out. But right now, I want to say Commissioners Culbertson and Smith and Public Works Director Knoll, they just wanted to come to the City Council meeting and brief the City Council on what's going on and how it would impact Lansing. Obviously, like I said, it would be a significant impact for us, but this is something that's 7, 8, 10 years down the road. We're still quite a ways off, but it is exciting to think about, especially when you think about, as the crow flies, Lansing is so close to so many parts of the metro, but because of the Missouri River Bridge and the lack of transportation, something that's 7 miles away takes us 30, 35 minutes to get to. So that's why this is exciting for us, and it'll be interesting to see how this develops over the next few months. But we're really excited about it. I think it's going to be a positive thing for us.
All right, I've been speaking with City Administrator Tim Vandall for Lansing Pulse. I'm Ken Miller.